Zombies are coming to Riverdale? Get the f out of here. What's going on, YouTube? So shout out to one of my subscribers for bringing this article to my attention. And you know what's really funny is that I came across this article before, but I quickly dismissed it because I thought that it was just like some kind of fan theory that wasn't actually true and wasn't actually gonna happen or anything. But it turns out that I was actually wrong. And I was wrong because I just kind of skimmed the title of this article and didn't actually read it the first time around. But the second time around, I actually did read the article. And it turns out that I'm a idiot. But more so than that, it turns out that the writers are actually putting some real thoughts on bringing zombies to Riverdale in the future. Oh, that's right, bitches. You just heard me correctly. Zombies coming to Riverdale is officially a real possibility. We're about to have a zombie apocalypse up in this. And you know what's funny is that I came across a rumor or a spoiler a few weeks ago about Jughead finding supernatural forces in the woods and something about some kind of supernatural forces in the lake that they dumped Jason Blossom into. And I remember reading it and just thinking that it sounded so weird and far-fetched, so I just kind of dismissed it as ridiculous and moved on because it sounded so different from the Riverdale that we're currently watching. But now, after reading this article, I'm not so sure. And also, I came across another bit of news because, as you guys should know by now, I've never read any of the Archie comics. So I didn't actually know that there was already a comic called, I believe, Archie Afterlife or something like that actually does have zombies in it. And one of the creators or writers to this show actually worked on that comic. And apparently they're already dropping hints in the show that I was completely oblivious to. Hints that kind of show or hint to that there may be some zombies in Riverdale in the future. Now this is insane. I mean, do you realize how much that would actually change the show for better or worse? And according to the article, their whole reason for not starting the show that way, you know, starting the show with zombies and supernatural forces and whatnot, their whole reason for not starting the show that way was because once you start a show with zombies and supernatural forces and it's pretty much impossible to turn back. I mean, it's kind of hard to start a show off with zombies in it and then one day decide, okay, you know what? We're not gonna have any zombies in the show anymore. And we're just gonna have a regular old show with no supernatural forces. I mean, that's kind of hard to do. Once you go down that route, you kind of have to stick to it. But if you don't start off that way and you decide that you don't want to go in that direction, then, well, it's pretty easy to stick to that in that case. So that's why they decided to start off the show kind of, you know, normal, at least to start off with. Which is understandable, but I mean, you know, still, there's still gonna be a lot of people that are used to Riverdale being, you know, like, how can I put this, not zombified? I don't even know if that's a word, but, you know, it is now. I know I, for one, am used to Riverdale not being supernatural bound. So just the thought of zombies is just, it's really weird to me. It's really hard for me to picture Riverdale with zombies. I mean, no matter how you try to put it, that would, without question, completely change the dynamic of the show. I mean, a part of me thinks that it would be like, you know, really cool to see. And obviously, if they go the zombie route, that means that Jason Blossom would be making a return to the screen. Now, granted, it would be as a zombie, but still. But the other side of me is kind of just like, I mean, do we really want to see zombies in Riverdale? Aren't there already enough zombie shows on television? I mean, we have The Walking Dead, Fear of the Walking Dead, and speaking speaking of that show, the whole reason I didn't watch that show is because I was tired of zombie shows. And that's the whole reason I stopped watching The Walking Dead. Because after a while, it just gets kind of boring. I mean, how many seasons can you have of somebody running from zombies before you're just over it? And for me, it was about 3 or 4 seasons of The Walking Dead. Then I was just over it and I wanted to move on with my life. Not to mention the hundreds of other zombie shows and movies that I've watched in my life. I mean, do I really need another one? Especially considering how much I already love Riverdale. I mean, there's no question that doing this would be like a huge risk. I mean, you're undoubtedly gonna have a big group of people who love it and a big group of people who hate it. The only question is, which one of those group of people is gonna be the bigger group of people? I don't know, it's really hard to say because like I said, that's a pretty big goddamn change. I feel like that's a change that if they're gonna make, they should wait at least 2 to 3 seasons first. Like, wait until the show starts to get maybe a little stale, or at least wait until the show has a run with being the way it is right now before they do any kind of major shakeup like this. Because if they do this after season 1, I mean, I feel like that could be a little bit too soon, but I mean, then again, on the flip side, maybe not. Because if you're gonna do a big change like this, then maybe that's one of those things that you should do sooner rather than later. Because if you wait too long to do it, then you're gonna have a bunch of people that get used to the show being a certain way just to drop this bombshell on them and have their favorite show be completely different from what they're used to. So I can easily see both sides of the argument. And if they do end up doing this, I think it's gonna be a gigantic risk either way, whether they decide to do it after season 1 or wait a little bit to do it. I mean, I do love me a good zombie show, it's just that, like I said, it's been done so many times already. And I just feel like Riverdale would lose any bit of originality that they do currently have if they do decide to go in that route. But I mean, that's just my 2 cents. If you guys want to read the article for yourselves, I will put the link to it in the description box. But let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comment section below. Would you like to see zombies in Riverdale? Let me know. But I'm done talking. If you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. But as always, until next time.